Eric and Jerry in Bulldog Nation. This is Eric Deters, the Bulldog, and with me is my good buddy Nick BATISTA. And this is the inaugural show of Bulldog Sports. Thanks for driving down here, Nick.
No problem.
And just to give you a little bit of background, I've been wanting to do this forever. And I had spoken at one point in time to Dinkle and to, gosh, I can't believe, Andy Furman. And they're big wimps. You know, trying to get them in the studio, do that. And I thought to myself, who needs former professional athletes and Furball's big mouth to do a sports show? All I want is at least one buddy in here. And I decided to pick you, Nick. You're my first and only pick. And let me tell you why I decided to pick Nick. Nick's opinionated as hell. He's smart. He's a Browns fan. We give each other a good-natured hard time about everything. So he's a Buckeye. I'm a Wildcat. So I thought it'd be a good mix, and who knows where this show's going to go. This is the inaugural show. How we change it, add to it, who knows? I don't care. But let's get right to it. First topic today, and this is going to be a weekly show, folks. We're coming in here early on Monday morning to it. Tom Brady's retirement. What do you think of Tom Brady's retirement? I think this might be his real retirement.
It has to be. I mean, he should have done it after the Super Bowl. The only thing I got out of this was somebody took a jar of sand and they're trying to sell it on eBay from where he made the retirement announcement.
Well, you know, I think the big issue, and one of the things that we're going to do on this show is we're going to talk about things that the other sports shows are afraid to touch because they're woke and everything else. I think the big issue is, did Tom Brady coming out of retirement lead to his divorce from Gisele Bündchen? There's some people that say yes, there's some people that say no, and apparently it was the fact that she's having a fling with this jiu-jitsu instructor,
right.
And that's the reason, and it had nothing to do. But I can say this.
What about Pete Davidson? What about him?
Yeah, Pete Davidson. He'll be the next one Daytoner. But I got to ask you this question.
Sure.
If his coming out of retirement caused his divorce, and this is the year that he had, wow.
Yeah.
You lose your marriage over that year?
Right. That's why a lot of people say there's no way. Why would you do that? I mean, the whole reason he got divorced was to play again.
Right. His image is temporarily tarnished. There's no question. Did you not agree that he's obviously the GOAT? I mean, when you look at the Super Bowl, been in 10 Super Bowls, won 7 Super Bowls.
No question.
I mean, that's hard to think about anybody else that could duplicate that.
Right, absolutely.
So there's no question he's the GOAT. All right, next issue, the Super Bowl. First off, I was rooting for the Bengals. You were rooting against the Bengals because you're a Browns fan.
I'm a hater.
But you know, I'm going to root for the Chiefs because I hate the Eagles so much because I'm a Cowboys fan. And part of that, just so everybody understands why I hate the Eagles, I hate the Eagles worse than any sports franchise in history because they cheered when Michael Irvin was laying paralyzed on the field. Right. And they threw snowballs, Nick, at Santa.
That's super.
Those are the Eagles fans.
That's a beautiful fan base there. We would do that in Cleveland.
So who do you got in the Super Bowl?
Philadelphia's a better team. They are. But I think Mahomes has got a sort of a destiny here with the leg. NFL likes that, loves Mahomes.
Let's talk a little bit more about this. They've already created, they have to make race.
Oh,
the first 2 times, 2 black quarterbacks are facing each other in the Super Bowl.
In the divisional round, I heard that, I don't know, it was a national show somewhere, and then it hit me. That's going to be it. It's going to be Mahomes and Hurts.
Let's have our first argument. The NFL wanted Kansas City to beat the Cincinnati Bengals. And it was proven by the terrible calls.
I don't know. I don't think the calls had anything to do with the outcome of the game, Bulldog. I really don't. Especially that third down.
Well, I will
3 chances at it.
I will say this. The Bengals' offensive line sucked.
Well, they had 3 guys out. What are you going to do?
Can you imagine what's that like for these teams to go on and on and on, and you're playing really great, and then you have something like that happen to you, and it happens over and over again.
I heard Philadelphia is the healthiest team in the postseason. So there they are.
Let's talk about the NFL in general, the Shield, okay? Mm-hmm. I personally, and I think I speak for a lot of fans, I care less. I care less about the NFL than I ever do. Now, because I'm a Cowboys and Bengals fan, because they had good years, you know, I would still watch the game, but I didn't move my schedule around. Like, for example, I didn't have DirecTV anymore, so if I couldn't watch a Dallas game, I didn't care. If I had something else to do on a Sunday, I didn't move it to watch the NFL. It's just, and my son's another one that talks about this all the time. It's just like everything just starts seeming contrived, and you get your hopes up, and there's an injury. The referees make terrible calls.
Well, you and I have talked about this, and I told myself at the beginning of the year, I'm not going to fall for it this year, but there I was right back in it.
We like football too much.
I was born in Canton, Ohio.
Oh, my goodness.
Above the Hall of Fame, in the hospital above the Hall of Fame, with a football in my crib. So the NFL to me has always been everything.
I get it. I love high school football. I love college football.
Right.
I love pro football. I love football.
Right.
Now some more football. Pro Bowl. The Pro Bowl yesterday. Did you watch any of that?
I did. I tried, and it was embarrassing. I was like this watching it. Our gladiators out there pulling flags. I couldn't stomach it.
Here's my thing. I didn't have a problem with the flag football game component of it. You know, it's kind of fun, lighthearted, all that stuff. What I thought the competition was stupid. You and I grew up in the day and age where they had superstar competitions in Hawaii, and they had 100-yard dash. They had weightlifting. They had biking. They had swimming.
True. I forgot about
these competitions that they had, golf.
Yeah.
Driving a golf ball, catching a ball hanging suspended in a mall. I mean, the competitions were awful.
This is true. Right.
Why don't we have a 100-yard dash? I want to see if Trayvon Diggs or his brother are faster.
Because Myles Garrett.
Dodgeball? Dodgeball?
Oh, boy.
I think I like the concept. I think the games they chose were stupid. All right, shifting gears to the NBA. The biggest news, Kyrie Irving from the Brooklyn Nets to the Mavs. Will he play well with Luka? Who knows? The Brooklyn Nets got a whole. They got 2 second rounds, 1 first round. What do you think of Kyrie Irving? He's apparently the problem child of the NBA.
It's hard for me to dog him, Bulldog. He brought a championship to my town, Cleveland.
I like him.
You know, I
like Kyrie Irving.
He's an anti-vaxxer.
Exactly.
I love that.
Exactly.
Absolutely. He got buried for that. But he is somewhat of a problem for his teams. But, you know, again, he brought a championship to Cleveland, Ohio.
The woke ESPN brutalized Kyrie Irving and Aaron Rodgers for their anti-vax status. And how do you like them now?
Right.
How do you like them now? I mean, they're still not talking about why did Damar Hamlin have a heart attack?
Right.
Or cardiac arrest, excuse me. Why did he have a cardiac arrest? Young people. They don't want to talk about it. The ESPN don't want to talk about it. It's vax. ESPN, owned by ABC, owned by Disney, the corporate world, they brutalized him.
And even that's quieted down the talk of the vax, you know?
I watch Pardon Interruption, and I watch Around the Horn.
Really? How can you do that?
Well, let me tell you what. I do it just as a summary of what's going on in sports.
Yeah.
But it's unbelievable how freaking woke they all are.
Oh, my God.
So I compartmentalize it out.
You have to. I stopped. I watched it for 15 years, and then I just couldn't take it.
It's painful.
Both those shows.
It's very painful. All right, Aaron Rodgers, speaking of vax, he won the Pro-Am at Pebbles Beach.
I watched that.
You did? I'm not a golfer.
I know you're not.
I'm one of those guys that watched golf on Sunday because Tiger Woods played.
Sure. Well, I like it in the wintertime because it makes me feel warm when they're out.
But when Kyrie Irving and Aaron Rodgers do something good, I'm all for them. I mean, them having their vax position changed my opinion of these guys.
Nice.
I mean, Aaron Rodgers, will he go to the Raiders? Will he stay in Green Bay?
He's got to stay, right? $56 million.
I think he's got to stay.
He's got to stay.
He's got to stay. All right, local issue. I'm one of these people, you know, no secret I'm running for governor. I hate corporate welfare. I don't get it. I don't understand it. Corporate welfare costs us taxpayers far more than what we consider traditional, you know, welfare.
Sure.
The Hamilton County, City, Cincinnati, all of them, they give all this money to the state of Ohio, all this money to FC Cincinnati.
Right.
And I said, this is stupid because the only people who are going to win are FC Cincinnati's ownership. It looks like the FCC ownership almost doubled in value, up to almost $500 million, $500 million, from 250 to 500. I'm rounding off the numbers.
Sure.
So what do you think about that? The FCC, they get all this taxpayer money, then within just 2 years, they double in their value.
Yeah, kind of torn on it. I hate soccer, but
I hate soccer too.
Something like that brings value to a community. I can see that.
It does bring some value to a community.
I mean, it brings maybe conventions in that wouldn't otherwise come. But yeah, corporate welfare, I understand your position. Yeah.
All right, but as we wrap this up, we got to make a few. I want to make you and me make a few comments. And by the way, how long this show is going to be, we'll leave at. We'll see how it goes. But I want to ask you: do you got anything to report about Ohio State?
Well, they lost against Michigan last night in basketball.
That's not as big as their football.
No.
Loss.
That's for sure. If they would have beat Georgia, they should have beat Georgia. But all in all, no, they're going to be tough next year for sure.
In football?
Absolutely.
Well, my UK Wildcats in basketball are on a 6-game winning streak, SEC teams, but they lost to Kansas. But I'm telling you right now, I'm one of these anti-Calipari guys.
Yeah,
he can't coach a game. He can recruit, he can't coach a game.
He hasn't done much recruiting lately, has he?
Do you have anything to report with the Browns?
Myles Garrett sprained his toe.
That's right. That's the big news coming out of the. He's the only player that gets hurt in the Pro Bowl is a Cleveland Brown.
Right. On the way down here, X-rays were negative. So, but I call him the pinata. This guy. He's always hurt. Something.
He's got plenty of time to recover.
Oh, brother.
Bengals, it'll be interesting to see in the final year of his contract, what do they do with Joe Burrow, hope. And then my Cowboys always suck. You know they bring back Quinn, but they bring back McCarthy.
Yeah, the coach.
They bring back McCarthy. Oh my God, he sucks.
Doesn't Jerry Jones go to Sean Payton and say, "Listen, man, you can have the stadium. Just come and coach my team."
We've wasted so many good seasons.
How do you not get Sean Payton?
I know we wasted on Phillips. We get what's his name, the Mr. Nice guy, Jason Garrett. Now we got McCarthy. I mean, it's just we just suck. All right, Nick, thanks for driving down for our first inaugural show. By the way, I got to tell you a funny story. I love movies, and there's this movie. It's called The Sure Thing, and John Cusack plays this kid.
I like John Cusack.
That he rides with they hitch ride from Connecticut all the way to L.A. because his buddy on spring break or winter break has him a Sure Thing lined up, and he gets in the back of the back seat with this girl that they don't like each other. So on the way to L.A., at one point in time, they act like she's pregnant, so somebody will pick them up and give them a ride. Mm-hmm. So they're in the back seat of the car, and the guy says, "Well, what are you going to name your baby?" And she goes, "Elliot." And Cusack goes, this is before Cusack became liberal, he was a good actor.
Right.
Cusack goes, "What? Elliot? You can't name the boy Elliot, it's got to be called Nick. Nick's your buddy. Nick's your friend. You got to call your kid Nick."
That's right.
So that's another reason why I picked you. Nick's your buddy. Nick's your friend. If you're going to have a talk show on sports, you got to have somebody named Nick.
Appreciate it.
Thanks for coming down.
No problem.
This is the Bulldog and Nick BATISTA for the inaugural Bulldog show. As you know, this is going to be entertaining. We're just getting started. Every Monday, you'll be able to watch